What's up, Cybermen and Cyberwomen? The third episode of Mystery Science Theater 3000 on Netflix, the brand new one, has a old 60s film about time traveling, and it's kind of an end-of-the-world movie. To be honest, I'm watching this film, and I'm beginning to wonder why I've never seen it before, even heard of it before. It may have something to do with the fact that it has the most generic sci-fi movie title ever. It's The Time Travelers. I had no idea going in what this was going to be about. And it essentially is from 1964. And watching it for a few minutes, I'm beginning to feel something a little bit similar. Now, we're talking about the film first, and I'll talk about the episode later. We have these four scientists, well, three scientists and Danny, the young blonde doofy guy who kind of like invites himself into their mess and actually kind of causes it, frankly. And, you know, it's funny, I'm watching this and I'm thinking, like, these characters in this thing kind of reminds me a little bit of something. We have four characters. One of them is a woman with a particular haircut, blonde hairstyle. The young guy who's not really kind of into the science thing. He's kind of hangouts. He is a young blonde guy who's kind of like, hey, a cool kid. Well, this movie's version of a cool kid. And I'm thinking, like, did Stan and Jack see this and find it influential for the Fantastic Four? Well, I did a little research, if you count spending 2 minutes on IMDb research. And yeah, this film came out in '64. The first issue of Fantastic Four came out in, I believe, 1961. So it's even possible that the reverse happened, actually, where maybe the filmmakers saw Fantastic Four and maybe tried a little bit of influencing themselves. Who knows? Who knows with these things? All of these people are dead. So, the film is about these scientists who invent a time portal, and Danny stupidly just walks into the portal and goes away, and causing the scientists to also stupidly chase after him, where they're chased down by mutants. And they discover that, oh, it's 100 years in the future, it's 2071, there's been a nuclear war, and there's only a few left of society living underground, trying to get away from the mutants. And they've come up with this awesome plot that they've found another planet that might be suitable for human life. It's quite a few light years away, so they're going to have to do kind of a generational space mutiny thing. To travel from there to there. Maybe this is the prequel to Space Mutiny, I don't know. And, well, everything goes wrong, and they end up building the portal to head back to home, and that goes wrong too. Everything goes wrong for these people. It really sucks. There are some really interesting things about this movie. Now, I'll talk about the film first here as a film. There's some really interesting things about it, namely the androids, the creepy-ass androids in this film, with the weird, like, mouths and the dead eyes and the weird bodies. They're really utilized interestingly. Matter of fact, they do several bits of on-stage magic in lieu of special effects, which is kind of interesting, especially, you know, with CGI the way it is, you're just always expecting some sort of trickery. And they do some stuff. They have, like, some of the robots sit down and they take their heads off and there's no cuts, which I think is pretty cool. They experiment with the teleporter with Danny and they strap him to a table. And the second they strap him to the table, I'm thinking, wait a minute, I think I've seen this in Vegas or something, except with, like, a hot girl instead of Danny. And yeah, it's kind of cool. Even Forrest J. Ackerman shows up. And he's doing some kind of cool trick with this wire stuff that he's, like, reforming into squares and such. There's even a neat scene during a fight where one of the androids is torn apart. And it's kind of brutal, actually. He is thrown up against the wall. He's pinned to the wall with a spear. And the mutants rip his body apart. And he's still, like, frailing. And you can see that it's actually still sort of a guy in the suit. It's actually pretty cleverly done. Yeah, you know, this film is oddly decent. It's going to be better than some of the films we're going to be talking about later in this season. I'm actually a little surprised it's not talked about. It's not as well remembered as, say, This Island Earth, which has a pretty good rep. Even, after Mystery Science Theater. I'm trying to figure out what exactly is. Maybe it's... I don't know if it's like the lack of star power, but that's probably not it. It could be having to do with the fact that it has such a... There's something about some old movies. Like, before the 70s, characters would act really nonchalant to fantastic things. It always, like, bugs me and sticks out to me when I see it. Like, look, these scientists are told they've just traveled 100 years in the future, nuclear wars happened, we're going to go and colonize another planet to get away from all these mutants and radiation, and they're like going, yeah, I think that maybe we'll do that. Can we have some kind of, like, actual human reactions to these things? No wonder Spielberg was such a big hit, because he actually put people in fantastic situations and had them act like people. The whole Spielberg-looking thing. That's where that comes from. I mean, that was... Sometimes I wonder, that may have changed a lot of sci-fi. Just people acting like people to, like, dinosaurs and space aliens or something like that. Excuse me. Now, the episode itself. It starts off pretty funny. I love the invention exchange. It has a very simple opening. I love, of course, we're doing the whole bit where, he has to reenact the opening sequence over and over again. I love that it seems like they have a pretty funny line for each time they do it. I really dig the invention exchange. They have the afterlife system where they talk to people and go, no, you go to purgatory. Sorry about that. The riffs themselves are pretty fun. They do this thing where they're having Gypsy pop in like twice an episode, and her riffs are really... I enjoy the fact that she just shows up, looks at the screen, says something smart-assy, and just goes away. I really like that. I've actually done that myself when I've walked through a room and just made fun of something. Her line that the one scientist looks like Rip Torn playing Stephen Strange, that's pretty funny. And also the rips in general. If you watch these episodes, you'll notice that they are getting more comfortable and more relaxed with each one. And if you watch, like, the first one, boy, they just go right after that movie. And with, like, both barrels. So it is fun kind of watching them kind of, like, kick in and take ownership of this. Because, maybe for the first couple, it's like, hey, they're playing in, like, this great toy box that, Joel built and Mike built. But now it's becoming their toy box, which is kind of fun to watch. The stinger is decent. It's one of those weird kind of reaction stingers, like Danny's just staring at this woman doing her Skrillex bit, and he just has this weird look on his face, this kind of pervy look on his face. I dig this one a lot. I've talked to Lindsay. I think this is one of her favorite episodes. And watching it a second time really makes me appreciate it a little bit more. I thought it was okay when I first saw it, but I kind of like it more the second time around. I've been watching these episodes twice for these reviews. I'm currently watching Avalanche a second time. And I don't know, maybe it's just like the old days where some of these jokes hit you more on the second time around. Maybe it's because in the first time for these first 3 episodes, I was just kind of excited just to have it back and a little nervous that it wouldn't be as funny. And now I'm pretty comfortable with what's going on, and now I can just listen to the jokes and the humor. And yeah, it's really good. This one I like a lot. I'd say this one, I know a lot of people really dig Cry Wilderness. I think this episode is slightly better than the first 2, although I'm going to be talking about Avalanche, which I really enjoy. And then, of course, we've got Star Crash coming up, so that's going to be really cool. I'll be posting those, I'd say maybe every 2 or 3 days. I'm kind of trying to space these videos out a little bit. I don't want to, throw too much at you at once. So, what did you think of The Time Travelers? Post a comment below, and we'll talk about it. If you've never, subscribed to me before, hey, feel free to like and subscribe. All these YouTube things. Well, I'm going to get going. It's time for me to go. So, push the button, Lindsay.